Okay, so let's start this off by being very clear and honest with each other. I have never taken my motorcycle apart before, at all. So this is gonna be fun. So as you bros know, if you've been following the channel, I've been kind of spending some time putting together like a motovlog setup so that way I could start doing motovlogs again. Now it's been a few days and all of my gear as of right now is about 10 days out, which is awesome. This here is my normal motovlog setup, just a standard boring helmet with a GoPro mount. Normally when I make a motovlog, this is what I'm wearing. Unfortunately, I wasn't really satisfied with the quality coming out of the GoPro Hero 4 session, so that's why I ordered my new gear. If you guys are interested, I'll tag this video in the description down below so you guys can check it out, and I'll tell you about my new setup while in that video. So now that we're upgrading our setup and the stuff's almost in, I think it's about time that we get Rogue ready. So let's see if Rogue is roadworthy.
I'd like to love you night and day, if I may.
Okay, so I will stress that we will be at some point changing Rogue's oil. That will be coming in the future. But as of right now, we actually need the oil that's in the bike so that way I can make a future video that's probably going to be coming once I get my vlog set up. But with that being said, we still need to check her oil so that way we can make sure that we're not going to run it dry. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably know what that means.
I'd like to love you, love you.
So the reason why we're checking the oil first is because we're actually going to be raising this tank, and I don't know if you can start the bike when it's like that. Like I said, first time doing this. So we're going to check the oil really quick, and it's just on this side of the engine. Okay, so we can see we still got about probably 1/3 on the dipstick, which is fine with me as long as we're not running it dry. Like I said, I know Rogue needs an oil change. It's not actually the worst. It definitely could be a lot worse, but it's about time. It's gone a little bit past the kilometer range that I'd normally like to change it, for a motorcycle that is. And I already have the oil and the filters, so I want to be doing that as soon as I can. So there's going to be two big things that I'm basically looking for this time. Now, what's happened essentially is with motorcycles, what you can do is you can change the sprockets, the gearing that go with the chain. And when you do that, you can either gear the bike for acceleration or for high-end speed, but you have to sacrifice one or the other. My bike right now is actually geared for acceleration a little bit more than stock. And so I want to see if the previous owner of the bike actually installed like a speedo healer, which basically does the quick math to essentially tell the speedo the correct speed and the odometer the correct kilometers or miles that the bike has traveled. Now without that, your odometer reading can go way out to lunch, and it can basically lower the resale of the bike. And not that I plan on selling Rogue, but I do find value in having like the correct kilometers. The second thing we're aiming to do is we're trying to check the air filter. Now, as you can see, the air goes in here, but the filter itself is actually underneath the tank. So that's why I was saying we need to raise the tank. You guys will see that. It'll look really weird if you haven't seen it before. So I know. We took the seats off last time we were working on Rogue. Why didn't I do this then? And honestly, I did not think about it. But majority of the times when there is a chip added to a bike or a speed healer or something like that, usually it's either under the seat or back here somewhere. So we're going to kind of dive a little bit deeper, and I'm going to be paying specific attention for that. So the thing we're looking for is either going to be down there or back here. So sometimes people kind of route them back here, but there's no extra compartment. You can see underneath it's actually like, that's it. So I know that there's going to be no hidden kind of passages that they could put it. That being said, I think it's fair to say we can put the gloves back in here. Always keep an extra pair in case I bring someone for a ride and they don't have gloves. Now this is where it gets more difficult, I guess, because this is just a fuse box right here. That's obviously our battery. I know there was nothing underneath the battery because we had it all apart and we're looking in there. Don't know if we can take this door off. I have a feeling we can though. Oh, I need to go hands-free for a sec. So that's the ECU. So I did a little bit more searching. I can't find any kind of speed healer or any aftermarket adapter piece inside the bike. I looked inside, I found some wires for like the brake light and stuff like that, but nothing really else past that. So I think I'm pretty much done with that. I'll maybe see if I can order one. I'll actually count the teeth and I'll see how many are on there and I'll see if it's really worth it. But so the next thing we're gonna look at is the air filter. And this is where it starts to get sketchy because I've had the seats off before. I've taken the battery out before, but I've never taken it out long enough to have to change the oil. With that being said, I also never took it out long enough to actually check the air filter. So now this is all gonna be a first for me and a learning experience because I've never done this before. So I'm not really nervous because I don't feel like you can really mess this up. But I think it's gonna be cool to finally see this for like the first time. So anyways, obviously the air filter isn't where the steering is, so the air filter is down there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually lift this guy up and it's gonna like... Let me just show you, I always thought this looked kind of cool. Okay, now watch this. Oh my God, can I keep going? Technical difficulties. No.
Dumbass.
So I started to lift this thing up, but it seems that these like fuel lines, I think they are, seems like these guys, these two are getting like pulled quite a bit. And I did release them from that clip. There just doesn't seem to be any play to them. So I guess this is, I guess this is what the pros do. Surprisingly, I thought this full tank was just like all full of gas, but I guess this is the air box right here and it literally just sticks all the way through. Pretty much all the way till here and then it's just hollow. It's just a big air bubble. That's so weird. Honestly, never thought it would look like that. So I suppose let's dig into this air box and see how the filter looks. Woohoo! Oh my God. Oh, it's so crusty with bugs. Ew. Oh, that's gross. Oh, man. Oh. Like, look at that. There's bugs all over it. Ew. At least it's doing a good job. I never would have expected a sports bike filter to look like that. Like, it doesn't look absolutely horrible. Like, it's still quite yellow, not covered in complete dirt. This case that goes over it is kind of like a dome shape. So I guess what's happening is everything's flying in really fast at highway speeds, and then it's kind of wrapping all the way around, and then that's why everything's getting caked on the backside. I don't know, like, I don't know how to rate this. I've never seen a filter like this, but you can see all that junk right on that lip. And it's pretty good at the front, but like the back end there, holy. This is gonna be kind of cool. Ever seen inside a sports bike intake? Like I said, that's kind of the inlet over there. That's where the air comes in from. You can see a tube right over there in the corner. Seems to be another one right down here. You can see the hose in right there. That's got to be an evap line right there. So that's what the intake on a sports bike looks like. That's got to be the throttle right there. Look at all that sand and gunk. Ew. You know what? Judging by how much oil is in here, I'm betting you that's the breather tube. There's one on both sides actually. I just saw that one over there too. I wonder if you can install like a catch can or something like that for that on a sports bike. As you can see, it's not like a lot, but it's, I don't know, like just shooting oil back in there. Probably not as ideal as it could be. That's how I like it. You'll see it's still a little bit oily, but absolutely way better. So now probably what I'll do is I'll end up putting the cover on and I'll just leave it like that for the next few days, and then I can order in the K&N filter, and I'll look at my teeth right now, and then that way I can kind of figure out whether it's going to be worth it for a speedo healer, or I could potentially put the original stock sprockets on. I just don't know if I'd want to do that. Reason being, I don't think it's a huge deal, honestly, but a lot of people say that when you get sprockets and a chain, they're technically married. The chain has grooved into the sprockets, and so they are a unit now, like together. So if you were to replace the sprockets now, the chain would get messed up, or it would prematurely wear, or whatever. It's just, you're not supposed to mix match them. So essentially, I shouldn't replace this guy, or the one up front. Either way, I'll probably order my K&N, but that doesn't mean I necessarily have to put it in this oil change. I could potentially put this guy back in for another few thousand kilometers. This is some of the oil that actually came from there. That oil seems pretty fresh considering the color of our current oil. Although it's a little bit faded, you can definitely see that this is darker than this, and this is a little bit more of a yellow stain to it. So that's telling me that this has been sucked into the intake quite some time ago. And I mean, the reason why this stuff, the oil inside the motor kind of darkens, is because it gets cooked theoretically as you run it, right? So what I'm seeing, what I believe, is that this oil hasn't been cooked. So this probably actually went in a long time ago. Like maybe the bike was overfilled, or there was just a lot of bypass into the crankcase or whatever, and it blew up into the intake. But those tubes have got to be the crankcase ventilation. So I'm definitely glad I looked at the air filter. It's kind of cool to see all the stuff down here too anyway. So now I have a little bit more of an understanding about what's going on with the bike. I knew when I bought the bike that the previous owner changed the air filter, but he didn't say whether it was aftermarket like K&N or if it was just more so a stock filter, if that is stock. I don't really know what those look like either.
Moments later.
So I just took a boring brief moment just to come down, and I was looking at basically the sprocket here. Now spinning it around on this side, I noticed that it's marked with a 438. 4.6. Now the 4.6 I believe is actually the amount of teeth, and so I laid down and I counted. Sure enough, it is 48 teeth, or at least that's what I got. Hopefully I know how to count. I don't know how much you guys know about bikes, but obviously the chain's got to go somewhere, so if you keep following it down, you'll find it actually tucks in right behind this cover. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take off actually some of this cover on the side here, and we're going to see how many teeth are on the front sprocket, and then once we know that, we can kind of determine whether it's going to be worth it or not to essentially switch to a speed healer. Because if it's only off like a single kilometer or so, then meh. But if it's off like 10 kilometers or so, then it'll start to add up over time. So I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to start basically undoing some of the side panel screws, the fairing screws. We're going to see if we can dig into this guy deep enough that we can see the front sprocket. Whew. Okay, well that didn't come out too nice. Look at that, bro. Oh. This definitely turned into a bigger job than I thought it would be. At least I guess we'll know for sure what's going on though. It's good prep anyway, because at some point I want to take off some of this stuff and paint it. It's not horrible. There's been worse. You can see there's still quite a bit of stuff on there. Just road gunk, dirt, debris. So I'll probably clean this out while I'm in here too. That way it doesn't build up too much. And that's our oil filter right there, if you didn't know where that was. It's a first for me. Oh, yucky. Oh. Oh my god, it's so thick. Oh, gross. Oh, oh my god. Okay, do you see that? Gross. I don't know when this was clean last. Oh, there's like a pube in there. Yeah, I'll have a Yamaha hold the pubes. No, seriously, tell me. Can you tell that I just spent an hour cleaning it? Because compared to how it was before, it's definitely a lot cleaner. I scraped all the stuff that I could off the inside just over here to the right. I went all the way on the inside, right where the chain is going to be. Gained a few millimeters by clearing off some of the gunk. Cleaned off the oil filter, the engine case, stuff like that. At the end of the day, look how much came off. You know, it doesn't probably look like all that much, but it's definitely, like, it's thick stuff, you know? You can see, like, this is a big friggin' nugget. Rogue, I promise we'll clean you up better. Just not yet. I counted the teeth of the sprockets, and then I looked at the wheel size, and all of that information put together into this calculator will tell me the difference in gear. It tells me that I need a calibration of 1.1%, negative 1.1%. So I imagine what that equivalates to is if I'm going 100 kilometers an hour, I'm actually going 99, something like that. It looks like the difference that the previous owner put on was only a difference of 2 teeth on the rear. So realistically, like, it's not a huge difference at all. He was saying that he changed both the sprockets, and he handed me a bag with the front and the rear sprockets, so I thought it was like massively different and way out, but it's barely. With that being said, we pretty much got this guy as clean as it's gonna get. I really want to clean her up more, I really do, but it doesn't really make sense right now. So I'm gonna actually come in and I'm gonna swap the gearing for something more aggressive, because I want to be able to, if I really crank it, I want to be able to pull like power wheelies like nothing. At least that's good though. That means that the gearing is relatively stock, and that means that I can probably teach Alana how to ride on this. Leave a comment down below if you think I should. Everyone's like, oh, you're gonna kill yourself on an R6. And I'm like, let's toss my girlfriend on it. Yeah, so we got quite the mess to put back together. Here's what I'm gonna do. I really don't like doing this, and I really try to avoid doing it, and I totally could tonight. But the truth of the matter is, it is technically Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is just about 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's not that I'm getting tired. I would completely keep going. I'm enjoying myself, but I have a video coming out for you guys tomorrow, and that's priority because I can finish this tomorrow, but that video needs to be ready to go. Okay, if I was a little bit hyperactive this episode, blame Alana. She fed me ice cream right before I filmed this. You know you're Canadian when it's barely above 0 and you're eating ice cream. God, I can't put it down. I eat a lot of ice cream. This is a little bit of a precast because I haven't actually filmed the video yet. It's kind of like time travel, but a little bit better. My tongue's still a little bit frozen from that ice cream, so if I slur a bit, my bad. But I just wanted to say thank you to all the new subscribers. I've noticed all of you kind of tacking on one by one, day by day. Right before I even started filming this clip, it's probably a little bit hard to see, but I had a Mark subscribe, so thank you, Mark. Anyways, you guys have been killing it. We just passed 75 subs, which is incredible because we're almost at 100, which is like one of my biggest goals right now. So excited and ready for that day. If you guys do enjoy the videos and stuff like that, and you guys are following along and everything like that, I would appreciate it if you guys would consider maybe sharing with like a close buddy or two. Like if you know that they would enjoy this kind of content, I would appreciate you kind of showing them. And let me know what video you guys actually found me at down in the description below. I'm kind of curious where you guys all came from. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to give you guys a quick thank you and let you guys know what was up, but I'm gonna end the video here. So I hope you guys stay safe and have a good one. Okay, so plans change. We were definitely supposed to be working on the bike today. You guys might or might not have seen that yet because I still need to work on it and finish that video. Alana got home, walks back around the corner. I can hear her and Parker walking around the outside. She says, "Where's my car?" Are you kidding? No, she's not kidding. Her car was stolen.